Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest in my Duelyst video series produced in partnership with Counterplay Games. Today we're going to be looking at a new deck that I actually just built recently myself, that I've been having a lot of success with, and I think that you all might enjoy. So let's jump right in. So this is my Vindicator Starhorn deck, or Vindihorn. I've posted a couple of highlights with versions of this deck, but I've been tinkering with it for a bit now, and I'm pretty happy with this version. Not 100% on all the cards, but very happy with how it's been functioning so far. The core of the deck is really just very aggressive early plays. We have Silithar, Young Silithar, Primus Fist, Healing Mystic as our 2-drops. Not really necessarily the craziest combination, all pretty standard stuff, but as we go down, well, I guess we kind of see some of what's going on here. Flash Reincarnation, Greater Fortitude, Dire-Tide Frenzy. A lot of things that allow us to come out fast and hard. Frenzy and Fortitude are ways to buff your minions. Frenzy can help you get by, provoke minions, and help hit multiple things at once, including the opposing general, which can be a very big deal. But going down, we see one thing that stands out is a lot of Rush. While the new version of Vindicator no longer gives Rush, it is accompanied by Saberspine Tiger and Elucidator and Mancator Warbeast, all of which can just get out there and hit your opponent hard and fast, which work particularly well with Greater Fortitude and potentially Dire-Tide Frenzy to get big bursts of damage quickly. The sort of name of the deck comes from the Vindicator, and this is built around Starhorn's Bloodborne spell of forcing each player to draw a card. That works obviously very well in a deck that is just kind of exploding out with its resources in general, but also pairs very well with Vindicator. Vindicator alongside your Bloodborne spell, as well as Spelljammer and Blazehound, which cause both players to draw cards, can get Vindicator really big really quickly. And while lots of games your Vindicator isn't necessarily the highlight because your opponent can remove it with something like an Egg-Morph or Repulsor Beast it to a corner, something like that, it does force them to deal with it and can really make their gameplay awkward. Your Vindicators will very frequently, get dealt with, dispelled, things like that, but because it throws off your opponent's game plan, or they die in many cases, I've found the Vindicator to definitely be worth it. One of the big cards in this deck that make it work is Flash Reincarnation. Now, this isn't a deck that's looking to use Flash Reincarnation to play an individual huge threat like a Silithar Elder, but Flash Reincarnation allows you to use your mana much more efficiently when you are drawing so many cards, thanks to Blazehound and Spelljammer and the Bloodborne spell. Also pairs very well with Earth Sister Tegete to be able to do sort of AoE damage and potentially finish your opponent or their minions off. One thing that is also very important to note in the deck is the interaction between the Flash Reincarnation and Primus Fist, which can allow you to just get out a effectively 0 cost with Flash plus Fist attack boost to a minion, which is particularly valuable alongside Mancator Warbeast, because you can potentially Warbeast into Flash Primus Fist and get a 6-point Frenzy attack, which conveniently lines up very well with Shieldmaster's health, for instance, and can do a lot of damage very quickly. So that's this deck's kind of MO, is a lot of damage very quickly, and let's jump right into a game and see that in action. All right, here we have a Magmar mirror match. We're playing against Vath, the far more common Magmar general. Here our opening hand is okay. We definitely want to keep the Silithar and Primus Fist. I'm going to go ahead and replace these two. Don't really want to necessarily have a Frenzy early on, and Tiger as well. Kind of an early removal effect. Or Finisher, and we prefer to use it as a finisher, especially against Magmar. So the key here, we are looking to end the game as quickly as possible. Vath's Bloodborne spell can kind of get things crazy if the game goes on long, because it can actually just punch our minions and kill them. Also, Vath decks will often have Earth Spheres, so we don't want to give them time to just utilize their healing. So we need to really focus on being aggressive and closing the game out as quickly as we can. All right, our opponent did not have a terminal in play, which is great for us. I'm going to replace a Warbeast. It is a great card, but it does cost 6. So, and that's a great card for me to pick up here. We can actually just play Silithar into Silithar, which is one of the best openings we can hope for. I'm just gonna say go. I put it in the middle here because it can, if my opponent does not have a way to kill it, can walk up to either of the Mana Spring tiles here. Elucidator, not really. Double Elucidator opening is not really necessarily what we're looking for, but given that our opponent did not play anything on turn 1, could actually potentially be very powerful just in getting a ton of damage in very quickly. Often, you Elucidator, and if you attack your opponent, they can easily finish it off with something left on the board. But because my opponent stumbled a little bit, we may not really be concerned with that. Okay, Natural Selection. He is going to be able to take out one of my guys here. I kind of want to move here and just play an Elucidator and hit him, and move this here and block off his path to this. So I can actually move this guy here. I can move to the middle. That allows me to walk up and access this if I want. I want to prevent my opponent from accessing the tile, so I'm definitely going to take it this turn. I could also not necessarily play an Elucidator. I could move here, play a Blaze Hound, move this guy here, play a Primus Fist and hit him, which is actually probably better. So yeah, I'm going to do this. So I'm specifically blocking off my opponent's access to walk up to get to this. I'm going to play a Blaze Hound here, which will draw us both a card. My opponent has 6 cards, so going to end up burning that card. And then I will play a Primus Fist right here to give me another way to walk up. I could move it here actually, so my opponent, if he has Iridium Scale, can't kill all of them, which is probably better. So yeah, we're gonna play around the Iridium Scale like this, at least marginally. And then I'm gonna go ahead and replace the Repulsor Beast. There aren't generally big provoke minions in a Vath deck. We obviously could have done that first and maybe played an Elucidator instead of this, but I think this is fine. We do have the option to potentially double Elucidator next turn. We can take the, if we take this tile, Elucidator, Flash, Elucidator. A lot of damage really quickly, as I mentioned. So our opponent definitely stumbling a little bit, and that's one of the things that this deck is great at, is taking advantage of any stumble your opponent might make. They, miss one turn of playing a minion, and suddenly they are, really far behind and suffering from a lack of health, because you can do a lot of that very fast. Okay. Earth Sister. Alright, so Earth Sister is scary for sure, because it can help wipe out my my board pretty readily if we aren't careful. So my opponent did not take this. We could just double Elucidator our opponent here. That would do 10 points from hand. We have 6, 7, 8. We're actually just 1 off lethal here with that sequence. Let's go ahead and replace the Blaze Hound, because I suspect that may be good enough to get the job done. There's a Frenzy. Okay, we can actually Frenzy this and attack here. I'll move up here, because that's actually great. So I can move up here. I can Frenzy this guy. Oh, I actually screwed that up. I should have played my Elucidator first. Well, I'm missing some damage this way. Because this guy, I could have played the Elucidator here. That was just a missequence of playing the Frenzy first. I played the Elucidator here, this guy gets to attack that turn as well. So that was a little bit of a misstep there from me. Because I got so excited by the Frenzy and being able to clear his guys and do damage to him right away. But unlikely to be of concern here, simply because opponent's already so low and we have this burst from our hand. Tiger, you can kill my Elucidator. We've got a Frenzy of his own. Okay, well, we still just have Elucidator plus Primus Fist in top hand. And yeah, we can close things out regardless. So this would have been a little cleaner with the Elucidator the previous turn. Would already have my opponent, he'd be 2 lower. So, 2 lower, yeah, because he could have played the Elucidator and the Primus Fist could hit him. So, easy finish. We Elucidator and just punch. So that was a pretty quick game. Like I said, misstepped a little bit with my positioning there. Should have played, or not positioning, but sequencing there. Should have played the Elucidator first, and then played the Frenzy to punish my opponent there. But you know, clear indication of how well this deck can take advantage of minor stumbles from your opponent and just how much damage it's capable of doing. All right, here we are against Lyonar. It is Ziran Lyonar. So this is potentially a tough matchup. We're going to go ahead and replace these two. Not really looking for Frenzy and War Beast early on. We do have a Vindicator. Our opponent is going to start off with Light Chaser. So I'm kind of tempted to, I can actually move up, play Vindicator, and then flash out a Blazehound. I could just kill this with a Tiger. If I have Vindicator and flash out Blazehound, I have a 3/5 already, though my opponent could just kill it with these straight up. I could just play Tiger and clear this, prevent my opponent from being able to play a 4 next turn, which might be a better option. I think I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to keep my opponent from being able to play a 4-drop next turn using this to kill this. And see the 3/5 provoke here would be one of the better possible plays for my opponent. Yeah, there it is, Silverguard Knight. Shiny prismatic one. And now, currently I only have access to 4 mana. I can just play my Earth Sister if I so choose. I could play the same sequence I was talking about doing last turn with the Vindicator into Blazehound with the Flash. I could also just flash Tegete, doing 2 to each of these, and play Silithar as well. I'm kind of tempted to just play the Tegete. I could replace and try and find Claws, which could allow me to take out the Silverguard Knight. I'm just gonna play the Tegete and not replace, because I potentially want to be able to use this. Fortitude, all right. So my opponent basically has to deal with Tegete this turn. Light Chaser, all right. Oh, that was a Martyrdom? Yeah. Alright, well that is troubling. We have double flash Tegete. Can't put it here, unfortunately. I could flash Tegete right here, which would an attack here, which would kill it. So this, you know, I was able to just use the double flash to blow up the guy and do 4 to my opponent. I play the Blazehound to give me another body here, and my Earth Sister he can trade with or use something to remove. But we end up having reasonable board presence anyway. My opponent's still relatively low life because he did just take 4 from that. Possibly I should have just punched him in the face as well, though he could potentially Light Chaser punch me in the face and then heal that. So I don't necessarily just want to be pushing the trades right away while this is still on the board. It's very scary. And yep, Sunriser is disaster here. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and replace an Elucidator. I think. Well, we have... I'm gonna replace Vindicator. Vindicator's too slow at this point. These could potentially be good. Ooh. So my opponent is at 17. We have... Can't really take advantage of 7 mana this turn. We have a bunch of things that cost 4. So I think actually I punch this. I Fortitude and Elucidator. So I take 7. 3, 7. So I'd be at 7. I'd just be dead. That doesn't work. Okay, well, let's go trade here. Well, we do have, he is down to 10, and we have quite a bit of damage. I was trying to think if I could just throw things at face, but I had to trade into his guy. Ooh, Circle of Life. Okay, well this is a disaster of a matchup. Removal and life gain on my guy. Alright, well, I will claws up. Punch you. Heal myself. Well, this is a lot of burst damage right here. What is it, 9 life. He doesn't play a big provoke or kill me this turn. I think he may, despite all that, despite the life gain and everything, may not be able to pull it off. That is a provoke. Immolation. Okay, that's a problem. Because now I'm currently dead. Can't play this anymore. Give me a... if I draw a War Beast, he's dead. Hey! What do you know? There's a War Beast for the miraculous victory. Boom! That was satisfying. One life to hold on. So there you have some of the power of the Vindihorn deck. Definitely capable of winning out of some ridiculous situations, as we just saw. Opponent blowing up all my guys, gaining a bunch of life. But sorry, there was a War Beast waiting for you. So anyway, I definitely suggest trying out the deck. It is a lot of fun, as it always is, to just smash your opponent around with gigantic monsters. Kind of my thing. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. So I don't really want to just push damage here, because I feel like as the game goes on,